Good afternoon, and welcome to a Midweek Motivation. I'm Sock Marionette, doing business as bargain counter argument, and I am, as ever, a middle-aged lady in a tiara hosting a live stream. It, the indicator is telling me there's nobody here yet. It's not always accurate, so I'm just gonna hang tight. Sorry, I'm trying to do way too many things at once. So, yeah, the indicator says there's nobody here. So, oh, there is somebody here. Nice. Sorry, so many distractions. Good afternoon. And if you're watching this back later, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good middle of the night, insomnia, I feel ya. Uh, so, yeah, I'm trying to do too many things at once. And I just had a bit of a surprise. I was up here getting set up and I heard this knocking at the front door and I thought it was a delivery, like maybe a battery for my phone because the battery on my phone needs to be replaced and I ordered it. It should be here today. It's actually my mom. She was out running errands and she had I gotta stop trying to do anything other than talk to you because hi Sock, hi Gwen saying hi. Anyway, so she was out running errands and she had a tire blowout on her. She's fine, but the car needs some work, and it was like the tire rendered the whole thing just like completely undrivable. Good afternoon, says Crush Aloha. Hi, are you also Roxy? Anyway, let me know. If not, hello, Crush Aloha. Anyway, so she was calling me from the auto repair shop, and I didn't hear the phone. She called me on my cell phone, which I had turned off to preserve the battery. But she also called the landline, and I just like simply did not hear it at all. So yeah, and she was trying to do some errands, and she didn't get to she had library books to return. She's reading a book that has like a long waiting list for it, and it's due back today. She's trying to return it, and this happened before she had a chance to do that. So after the live stream, I'm going to go to the library for her. So I might end up cutting it a little bit short so I can accomplish that. But for now, I just want to breathe. Crush Aloha says, yeah, changed my handle name. Do you wish to be called Crush Aloha, or let me know. I aim to please. Anyway, so I was planning to read Stolen Kiss with Her Billionaire Boss, as you may have seen from the thumbnail. I'll at least get started on it. But like I said, I may actually have to cut things short so I can get that stuff taken care of before it's like all dark and dangerous. Anyway, so I'm going to read the summary to this, and then we can do 10 minutes of yuck. I actually don't have yuck to do today. I mean, there's always yuck that can be done today. There's always yuck I can do. I'm just not going to. That's the distinction there. Okay, so this is Stolen Kiss with Her Billionaire Boss by Susan Meier. I love that cover. For my Vlogmas vlog for today, I actually went through the process of choosing my category romance Christmas read. So that'll be up later today in case you're interested. Okay, so, but I mean, she's so pretty. She's so pretty. And she has a festive dress and a tree in the background. I love this cover. Christmas has arrived and she's spending it with her boss. New Yorker Erin is intrigued when Hugo Harrington asks for her help on a hotel renovation in London just weeks before Christmas. But Erin soon discovers how personal this project is to her brooding boss. Watching him wrestle with the memories of his past uncovers a side to Hugo she's never seen. And then a stolen snowbound kiss changes everything. Okay, and this is Christmas at the Harrington Park Hotel. This is like book 3 in that subseries of Harlequin Romance. This is Romance Not Presents, and this is from December of 2020, and it's number 4,739. Okay, so, and it is a larger print work. the less work I have to do today, the better. And so, and it used to belong to the Enfield Public Library. I bought it in their sale nook. They also have like a big sale like once or twice a year, and I've been to that one, but this is just like they have a permanent couple of shelves in the corner of the lobby, and that's where I got it. So, are we ready for the first 10-minute sprint? I hope so, because what was it Gwen said last week? Your show, your rules. Like, thank you, thank you. I appreciate the validation. Okay. So yeah, 10 minutes. So that puts us up to quarter past the hour. Perfect. Okay, so we are sprinting until, whoops, 15 minutes past. See you then. Okay, it's quarter past, and I did 10 minutes of yuck in the sense that I got all of my video clips for the vlog off my phone and onto my computer, and I double checked because some of it was stuff I didn't need. So, and I've my my bun is not maintaining its structural integrity, so I fussed with that a bit. And Stacy showed up. Hey, Stacy. At some point, I would like to read this book. Now, the plan for today was to read this book during the sprints and to talk about the books I picked up at the Book Barn in Niantic during the talking parts. However, as I was saying, my I'm just like a little flustered still because of this unexpected issue with my mom having car problems, and so I'm a little distracted. How's everybody else doing? Yeah. It's nice to have a moment to just breathe, breathe, breathe. Car trouble, says Stacy. Oh no, yeah, she her tire blew out. I think she bumped a curb or something, and her tire blew out. And it was like in a way that was just like not salvageable. So her car is at a car repair place near the library she was planning to go to. She didn't get to the library, so and she has like books that are due today, and a couple of them, I think at least one of them has a long list of people who are waiting for it. So when I'm done here, I'm going to do that stuff for her at the library because I think probably the last thing she wants to do is to get in a car. You can call me Roxy, says Crush Aloha. Sorry, your mom is having car problems. Yeah, it's not great. And she was pretty upset because she was trying to call so that I could go pick her up. And I wasn't answering the phone because, like I said, I had my cell phone turned off because of the whole battery problem I've been having. So, and I didn't hear the landline. So, fortunately, somebody from the dealership, one of the guys at the dealership gave her, well, not, it wasn't a dealership, it's a car repair place, gave her a ride. So, she came home and then she was like pounding on the door because yeah, she just she was not in any mood to start fumbling around for her keys, and she thought she might have left them at the car repair place. So anyway, so hopefully that she's having a chance to breathe out. She says on the plus side, the book that she needed to return, she hadn't finished it yet. So now she has a couple of extra hours of which to try to get it read. We had a flat tire yesterday, says Roxy. Oh no, that's not good. That's no fun, obviously. So anyway, yeah, because I was having a really relaxing time of it. I had everything all set up, and then all of a sudden, crisis in Marionette Land. Hi, everyone, says Stormy. Hi, Stormy. How's it going? There's like a whole thing, and I was talking about how I was all relaxed and ready to do the stream and everything. And then my mom had car problems and she tried to call me and I didn't hear the phone. And it's just, anyway, she's home. She's safe. The car's being looked after. And I have to go out later to do some errands for her. So I might be cutting it short. I might not have a chance to read all of this book. I haven't even started it yet. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is the site it should be on. It is Stolen Kiss with Her Billionaire Boss, also known as A Trip to the HR Department for Counseling. So we already had our 10 minutes of yuck, and I went to the happiest place on earth. I went to Book Barn yesterday. No, not yesterday. Monday I went to Book Barn. I was dropping some stuff off. I was hoping my mom had a bunch of CDs she wanted me to get rid of for her because they've been kicking around the house. So I took them with me, but it was so cold that usually when they assess the books, CDs, DVDs that people bring in, they do that at this, like they have this neat counter that's outside. But yesterday was so cold that they were not doing that. So I went and I got some stuff. I got a lot of Christmas shopping done, but I did not, I didn't get I wasn't able to take care of the CDs. So they're hanging out in the trunk of my car. So let's see. What do people want to let? Got all these bags. If you've been watching my Vlogmas videos, you've seen like all these bags all over my sitting room, which I tidied up considerably yesterday, but you know, they're still hanging out. So let's see. I got some stuff, but some of it's Christmas presents, so I'm not going to show it. But we do have the usual search for my reading glasses. It's exciting content like this that just keeps people coming back. How are you doing, Stormy? Okay, so I found this, which made me think of Tara Talks books because she's been working through her the backlist of Catherine Center, and I had just seen this on my Goodreads page because it's one of my mutuals on Goodreads, and this is by Catherine Center, and it's How to Walk Away. And this is from, I think, 2018. Yeah, 2018. And it is like about 370 pages. Comment from Stormy. Man, Fern Michaels died last month, and now Sophie Kinsella died. Wow. I didn't know about Fern Michaels, and I certainly didn't know about Sophie Kinsella. My goodness. Thank you for the update. My sister used to work with a woman who would come up with plots for Fern Michaels. Like she'd like write a synopsis of a story, and then Fern Michaels would turn it into a novel. I don't know how well it paid. Anyway, so this is about Margaret Jacobson is just about to step into the bright future she's worked for so hard and so long. A new dream job, a fiancé she adores, and the promise of a picture-perfect life just around the corner. Well, if it really were picture perfect and turning out exactly the way she expected, there wouldn't be a novel about it, would there? Then suddenly, on what should have been one of the happiest days of her life, everything she worked for is taken away in a brief, tumultuous moment. In the hospital and forced to face the possibility that nothing will ever be the same again, Maggie must confront the unthinkable. First, there is her fiancé, Chip, who wallows in self-pity while simultaneously expecting to be forgiven. Ooh, boy. Then there's her sister, Kit, who shows up after pulling a 3-year vanishing act. Finally, there's Ian, her physical therapist, the one the nurses said was too tough for her. Ian, who won't let her give in to her pity and who sees her like no one has seen her before. Stormy says, Fern was 92, which I didn't realize she was old, but Sophie was only 55. Oh, heck, I'm only 55. Oh, no. Yeah, I didn't think Sophie was particularly old. I thought she was a little older than that, but I thought she was probably definitely under 60. So, yeah, that blows. I think Lucinda Riley, who wrote the Seven Sisters series, she was only 56 when she died. So, let's see. Gwen says, I went wild on Audible. I bought $300 worth, none over. Oh, I see. She bought $300 worth, none over $4. So, wow. How many titles did you end up with? Golly. Because if none were over 4, some might have been under. So, yeah, that's a lot. So that's How to Walk Away by Catherine Center. Then we have, is this time travel? No. By Saran Dawson, yes, legend from the Legendary Lovers series, Prince of Thieves. Mm-hmm. And he's still got a little bit of price tag on him. That's why his neck is obscured. Oh, and this is the back. Woohoo! Look at that. Look at those flowers. And there's behind the synopsis and the people, there's a castle. Stormy says, well, you have a lot to listen to. Yeah, she sure does. This is from 1998, and it is a whopping 360 pages. Oh, such a pretty cover. Well, he's doing okay for himself. But I especially like the flowers. They're almost as big as the barcode. Anyway, unwilling to relinquish her prosperous estate and marry a man she despised, Lady Mariana was dispatched to the now occupied land of her kingdom's ancient enemies. The recent war had left the land and its inhabitants bereft of food and hope. One man held the lifeblood of the country in his grasp, a man who, despite his rugged attire, intrigued Mariana like no other. What would his rugged attire have to do with whether or not she was intrigued? That's a maybe rugged is code for like filthy. Lord Roderick Hode, the former Earl of Varley, was her king's sworn enemy and now led a rogue band of thieves who stole from the rich and gave to the poor. So we're doing a Robin Hood deal. But when Mariana looked into Roderick's blazing eyes, she saw his passion for life, for his people, for her. Deep in the forest, he took her to the peak of ecstasy and joined their souls with a desire sanctioned only by love. Torn between her heritage and a love that knew no bounds, Mariana would gladly renounce her people if only she could remain forever in the strong arms of her Prince of Thieves. Yeah. Yeah. I found Time Swept. Is it Time Swept? Yeah, Time Swept. I do love my time travel. It doesn't even have to be a romance. Gwen says he doesn't seem all that tired. Yes, she saw this, and then they're like, despite seeing all of this, she was intrigued. She was intrigued because she saw all of this. Hey, I lost track of time, so finally here. Hi, Lisa. Oh my gosh, I'm having a day. It was going great, and then my mom's having a worse day than I am. Let's put it that way. Everybody's fine, though. It was just car problems, and cars can be repaired in ways that people cannot. I haven't finished removing all of the price tags because, yeah. So anyway, we're doing my books that I found at Book Barn when I went on Monday. This is a time travel deal. It is called A Love Through Time. It was published in 1994 by Love Spell. And it was by Marty Jones, M-I-R-T-I, Marty Jones, and it's almost 400 pages long. And that's the price tag, which I haven't removed yet. Abby Jean gave me this solvent called Undo to help me remove price tags, but I've been so busy and distracted that I haven't really sat down with it yet. Although tree surgeon Libby Pfeiffer could explain root rot, Japanese beetles, and storm damage, she couldn't understand how a fall from the oldest oak in Fort Pickens, Florida, landed her in another century. Yet there she was, face to face with the great medicine man Geronimo. Ooh, oh no, don't tell me that we're going to be weird about Native Americans. Face to face with the great medicine man Geronimo and an army captain whose devastating good looks tempted her even while his brusque manner made her want to wring his neck. Driven by his need for vengeance against the Apaches, John Falk had no interest in women who suddenly appeared out of thin air. But from the moment he first saw Libby in all her defiant glory, he knew she was more than he'd bargained for. No matter what strange forces had brought her into his life, he would subdue her rebellious heart, and together they would share the magnificent rapture of A Love Through Time. Okay. I just grabbed it. I thought it was like going to be a Viking thing. I didn't realize that we were going to be potentially weird about Native Americans. So temper my expectations accordingly. More time travel. Grand Design by Karen Fox. This is a shorter one. This is 2001, and it is 314 pages. This is part of a series. I think it's called the Hope Chest series. The historic Chesterfield Hotel once offered visitors the graceful charm of its sumptuous rooms and the healing waters of its nearby hot springs. In the present day, as 5 people unearth the hotel's century-old Hope Chest, each will be transported back to a bygone age and transformed by the timeless power of true love. There's the hotel. So that's 5 separate novels. That's not like 5 stories all in this one book. So this one is Grand Design, the perfect Prince Charming. Restoring old paintings for Hope Springs Historical Society isn't exactly what frustrated artist Cinda Madison wants from her career, and yet she has no idea just how challenging her job will become when she begins work on the damaged portrait of handsome Prince Dmitry Karakov. Moved when she learns that he was tragically killed at the Chesterfield, Cinda decides to investigate his death. Then she finds the painting's tarnished nameplate in an old hope chest and is instantly swept back in time to 1887, where she meets the prince himself, very much alive and disturbingly attractive. Cinda knows she must prevent Dimitri's death to return to her own life, but can she prevent herself from falling in love? It's 1888. Yeah, in like 1887. 97. So in like 30 years, he's just going to be swept up in the Russian Revolution anyway. Hi, Lisa, says Stormy. Indeed, indeed. Let's see, what else have we got here? The Willing Wife by Claudia Dane. This is, okay. This is from 2002. And it is 371 pages long. Husband number 5. She was a wife most willing. 4 previous arranged marriages had. Yeah. 4 previous arranged marriages had taught Nicola the necessity of allowing a strange man access to her bed, her body. Oh no, just her bed and body. And beyond. Now King Henry had gifted her with yet another new husband. Would he be overeager, undersized, or just plain underfoot, as she had found the males before him? Okay. She was a bride most eager, anxious even to get the bedding over and done with. Rowland had expected a timid girl in need of gentle wooing. What he found was an inexperienced lover whose obvious indifference to his romantic legend challenged him to wring a response, any response, out of her disturbingly tempting body. She was a woman most unready. Nothing had prepared Nicola for a mate who actually meant to stay, a companion who really wanted to know her thoughts, a bed partner who shockingly sought to bring her pleasure. Could it be that she had finally found a man capable of love? The Willing Wife. And there's fruit on the back. Lisa says, hi, Stormy. I'm so behind on your videos and socks. They'll still be there for you when you get around to them. Guess what I have? I have a step back. Ecstasy by Nicole Jordan. I like that piece of furniture. Oh, this book by Claudia Dane. I'm not sure. I think it's medieval. Yeah, 1155 in England. Okay, anyway, yes, I like this furniture here. Nicola Jordan, there are some really gorgeous stepbacks for her work. This is a blazing tale of breathless passion, seductive desire, and deep love from sensational best-selling author Nicole Jordan. I think this is Regency. Yeah, 1813. Lisa says, okay, I loved how they did that. Pretty stepback, says Stormy. I know. Like I said, Nicole Jordan has some really nice ones. Having watched her mother languish away for a lost love, Raven Kendrick vows never to surrender her heart. But when her life erupts in scandal, she is forced to accept a marriage proposal from the wickedly sensuous owner of London's most notorious gaming hell. Though fiercely drawn to her enigmatic rescuer, Raven battles to resist her husband, whose caresses promise ecstasy beyond her wildest fantasies. To save the reputation of an innocent girl nearly ruined by his brother, Kell Lassiter sacrifices his freedom to wed the dazzling debutante. Long scorned for his Irish blood and dark past, Kell cannot deny that this enchanting Spitfire is unlike other society misses. Oh, she's not like other girls. No. Any more than he can quell his smoldering desire for her. Torn between loyalty to his brother and his growing feelings for his rebellious bride, Kell must somehow free Raven's reluctant heart before they can know the ecstasy of true love. Love Nicole, wish she was still writing, says Gwen. Well, that's good to know because I actually have a fair number of books by her because of the Gorgeous Stepbacks, but I haven't read any of them yet. So, yeah, looking forward to it even more. Back to Claudia Dane of The Willing Wife. My glasses keep falling between the couch cushions. This one is, oh dear, we've got another. Just to talk amongst yourselves while I deal with this bright orange price sticker that's over this guy's head. Yeah. So we've got what? How many weeks till Christmas? Oh yeah. A couple of weeks still to go. Yeah. Oh, it was over her head. I didn't even know we could see her face this well. This is called The Marriage Bed. It's by Claudia Dane as well. And the price tag was like right over her face. You could still see some sticky residue. And this is an older work, you can tell, because it was from Borders. This is from 2000. Oh, copyright 2001. This particular printing is 2008. And it is almost 400 pages long. It started with a kiss, an explosion of longing that could not be contained. He was a young knight bent on winning his spurs. She was a maiden promised to another man. Theirs was a love that could never be, until they learned to get along in the suburbs. But a year's passing and a strange destiny brought them together again. Now he was a monk, desperately fleeing temptation, and she was the Lady of Dornay, a woman grown, yearning to fulfill the forbidden fantasies of girlhood. They were a couple with nothing in common but a wedding night neither would ever forget. Eager virgin and unwilling bridegroom, yielding softness and driving strength. Somehow they must become one soul, one purpose, one body within the marriage bed. Wow, that's whoa, boy, there's a lot going on there. Yeah, that's a lot. Clearly, the clerks aren't butt glovers with how they place pricing. I think they're just rushed. Yeah, that's a lot. And now I have a Western Gothic, The Captured Bride of Aspenwood. Is it captured? Yes, Captured Bride by Peggy Darty. And it is copyright 1992, and it is 318 pages long. And raised in an orphanage where she learned to bake the most delicious cakes in Colorado, desperately lovely Elizabeth Blake was grateful for the chance to put her skills to use during the tourist season at a fine hotel in Cripple Creek. But when she learned that she would be staying at Aspenwood Abbey, a frightening place, built into the mountains and surrounded by dark forests of spruce and pine, her worries began. The wind howled around the eaves, and strange scratchings at her door warned her that odd doings were afoot. It's just a raccoon that got in the building. It'll be okay, unless it's rabid. Then one night, worry turned to terror when she found blood smeared on her pillow. It was a warning. Its message was crystal clear. Leave this house now. Never had Elizabeth felt so alone. Even the protective embrace of the sleek-haired, golden-eyed master of Aspenwood couldn't allay her fears, for nothing was as it seemed in the snowbound, windswept abbey. Nothing except the certainty that she had been chosen as the next victim of the ancient Aspenwood curse and must fight for her life before she lost her heart. And this is... I don't know when this is taking place. It doesn't have like an immediate, like where they just put the year at the top. Speaking of, I forgot to check this one with the monk and stuff. Prologue. Also 1155, like the other book by Claudia Dane. I think that's like a series of interconnected standalones she wrote. Cool Western Gothic. Love that cover, says Stormy. Yes. Good heavens, says Gwen. I know. And Jane Feather. I read one book by Jane Feather. Well, actually, I DNF'd one book by Jane Feather, Valentine, but I'll try again. Well, this person does like books because they put the sticker on the back. A Wedding Wager by Jane Feather. This is from this is from 2011, and it is 446 pages. It doesn't look that thick, but it is. Let's see. Lady Serena Grantley was born to the nobility, but fortune's whim placed her in control of her gamester's stepfather. Oh, it says it placed her in control of her gamester stepfather. I think it means in the control of her gamester stepfather, who uses her beauty to lure young men to his gambling tables. Serena even dismissed her first love, the Honorable Sebastian Sullivan, at her stepfather's command. But when he attempts to force her into a liaison with a dissolute earl, Serena resolves to do his bidding no more. Sebastian is the only man who ever captured her heart, and it is to him she turns. Torn between family loyalty and the woman he loves, Sebastian faces a devilish dilemma. His uncle is ailing and time is running short. Desperate to find a solution, Sebastian conceives a dangerous plan, a wager that could bring him and Serena happiness at last, or separate them forever. Loving all of these, says Stacy. I know. And finally, this is contemporary. I think this is probably more Bunkbuster territory because I love those so. It is The Hidden Years by Penny Jordan. I may have actually already read this like back when it came out. Penny Jordan mostly wrote Mills and Boon, republished under Harlequin Presents in the US. And one thing I always liked about her books, I noticed this when I was reading them back as they were being published in the 80s. She always seemed to incorporate the word frisson, 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 which is a loan word from the French, and it's like when you feel like a tingle up your spine or something, it's a frisson, like a little fleeting kind of activating kind of experience. Try Her Again, says Gwen. She is good. I love that she was a social worker before writing. Oh, I didn't know that. Cool. Yeah, I think it was just that one book. That's why I'm not ready to give up on her. I think I just didn't care for that book. The Hidden Years by Penny Jordan, who is no longer among the living. She died a few years ago. I think she was in her 70s or even 80s. The Hidden Years lays bare the choices all women face in their search for love. Sage Danvers spent a lifetime running from the past, from the mother who kept her at a distance, the father who resented her, and the heartache of unfulfilled love. But when Sage discovers the sacrifices and fiery passions her mother has hidden, she is able to confront her own sexuality. By piecing together the shattering secrets of her family's past, Sage is finally able to open her heart. In this latest triumph, New York Times bestselling author Penny Jordan reveals the sins and infidelities, the dreams and obsessions of one family whose hidden years will unlock the heart and soul of every woman. And this is from, I think, 1990. And it is almost 600 pages long. Oh, yeah. And I think that brings us to the end of that bag. And I think that's all of the mass markets that I'm going to show on camera. Because again, I got some stuff for other people that I'm not going to show. Spoilers for Christmas. Okay. So we still have the hardbacks and the mass markets to get to. And I think this is probably a good time for a half an hour sprint where maybe I can relax for a little while before we continue, and eventually I go out and do stuff. Yeah, it'll be fine. I can pick up some pie. Okay, so let's see. We're going to go until 1/4 the hour. That's 3:15 where I am, and probably 2:15 for some of you. And yay to sprints, says Lisa. Cool. So we are sprinting until 1/4 the hour. Yeah. Ooh, pie, says Gwen. I should get two, so I'll have enough for everybody. And we're back. It's been about a half an hour, and Kristen's here and says, "Hey, I was helping little girl's school for the holiday shop. Nice. A little bit of scholastic volunteering. I was trying to do too many things at once. I was trying to download my video clips from my phone and convert them for editing, and then I ran out of space on my laptop. And today was going great, and then about 1:45 my time, just one petty frustration after another. So I'm thinking I might pack it in and not do any more sprints because I got to go take care of that stuff I wasn't expecting to have to deal with. And I didn't get very far in this book because I was trying to do that other stuff. This is Stolen Kiss with Her Billionaire Boss by Susan Meier. I'm enjoying it so far, but she's like a contractor. She doesn't work directly for him, but he hires her company. She's a party planner, and he really wants to hire her to help him open up a hotel in time for Christmas Eve, which is 4 weeks from when the book starts. And she's like, I can't do that. I have plans for Christmas. So, she tells him to go pound sand because he wants her to go to London, and she lives in New York. And so Stormy says, I did nothing. I'm really tired. I hear you, man. Anyway, so she's like, no, not gonna do it. And so he actually decides to follow her home because he wants her to do the thing, even though he offered her 3 times her usual fee, and she's like, no. So he follows her home and ends up they're in Manhattan. He follows her to Jersey City. Let's see. So he chases after her, and he feels like, what is it? He says, he feels like he thinks he's followed her to an office building. He doesn't realize it's an apartment. And then when he gets there and he looks around, he's like, wait a minute, this doesn't look like an office building. What am I, in Oz? Is this Oz? And then he realizes it's a residential building. But then he says, so he finally gets to her apartment, and the door is answered by this little kid who looks fairly much like her. And he realizes she's a mom. And he says, now he didn't feel like Dorothy in Oz. He felt like a man who'd inadvertently overstepped some boundaries. I don't think there was anything inadvertent about it. You followed her home, my dude. You followed her home. But then he offers her enough money, and when he finds out that she lives with her son and her mother, he not only, well, at first he's not going to offer her the extra money anymore, but he is going to arrange for an apartment for them in London for while she's planning this, so that they can go spend Christmas in London, so she doesn't have to be parted from her family. And then she's like, yes, and I also expect to get 3 times my usual fee. And he's like, but, and she's like, well, do you want me to do this or not? So yeah. And we find out almost right away what his deal is. Like on the first page, we find out that his troubled past is that his family used to own that hotel. And his stepfather embezzled from the family, but managed to frame him, the male main character. And his mother took his stepfather's side, and he was excommunicated from the house. And nobody even told him when his mother died or told him where the funeral was. So yeah, that's his trauma. Free trip to London, says Gwen. I'm so there. Well, yeah, at first he just offers her more money. And then when he's like, well, okay, the barrier is that you want to spend Christmas with your mom and your son. Well, why don't you all go to London? And it'll give your son, I think her son's supposed to be like 4 or 5. She's a widow. Her husband died while she was still pregnant. And he's like, because it's a chance for him to see, different Christmases and stuff. And she's like, okay, well, yeah, because that was a big barrier. So, but then, like I said, she's like, I still expect to be paid extra. And he's like, really? And she's like, yes. And he's like, okay. So I didn't get very far. I just read like the first chapter because I was trying to do other things. Bookmark fell out. Jeez. This freaking day. Where was I? Okay. So what I think I'm going to do is finish showing my Book Barn Bounty and then calling it an afternoon. Because like I said, suddenly I have to do more stuff than I was expecting to, and that's fine. But I don't want to be rushing around trying to do things because I don't want to be rushing around trying to do things because that could lead to more problems than it solves. So I already got my mass markets uh, uh, that I picked up. If you're watching this and if you're just now joining us or didn't see that, that's earlier in the live stream. Let's see. And as I was saying, I actually bought a lot more books than this, but I can't show them on screen. We have a hardcover. Okay, this is from the horror section, Dark Debts by Karen Hall. Ooh, it's pretty and also ominous. The supernatural thriller of the decade. I'll be the judge of that. Gwen has something to say, she said. I see a precocious kid in your future. Yeah, me too. Actually, he doesn't seem to be too precocious. He's just like kind of seems like a fun little kid. So, but maybe he will turn out to be precocious. Every few years, okay, this is just hype. Dark, okay, yeah. Author Karen Hall masterfully combines horror, Southern Gothic, romantic comedy, and theological mystery in the form of a supernatural thriller. And let's see, her characters include Michael, a sexy Jesuit priest who is having an affair with a beautiful New Yorker editor. Isn't this one of the historicals by Claudia Dane? Cam, a reclusive Southern writer who survived a murderous family only to leap to his death under mysterious circumstances. Randa, an obsessive newspaper reporter on the trail of Cam's family secret. Jack, a lost soul who meets the love of his life just as he realizes he's losing his mind. Okay, anyway, so most of the summary is just like hype. However, the person who wrote it is very interesting. It says here, Karen Hall is a superstar among television writers, the only woman ever to work on the staffs of MASH and Hill Street Blues. And let's see. She received Emmy nominations for her work on MASH, Hill Street Blues, Moonlighting, and The Women of Brewster Place. So, and also wrote for I'll Fly Away and Northern Exposure. This, I think, was 1999. No, 1996. So, maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't. Ohio, a novel by Stephen Markley. I think I got this from the general fiction section. One sweltering night in 2013, 4 former high school classmates converge on their hometown in northeastern Ohio. There's Bill Ashcraft, a passionate drug-abusing young activist whose flailing ambitions have taken him from Cambodia to Zuccotti Park to post-BP New Orleans. Post-BP? Oh, post the BP spill, right. And now back home with a mysterious package strapped to the undercarriage of his truck. Stacy Moore, a doctoral candidate, reluctantly confronting her family and the mother of her best friend and first love, whose disappearance spurs the mystery at the heart of the novel. Dan Eaton, a shy veteran of 3 tours in Iraq, home for a dinner date with the high school sweetheart he's tried desperately to forget, and the beautiful, fragile Tina Ross, whose rendezvous with the washed-up captain of the football team triggers the novel's shocking climax. Set over the course of a single evening, Ohio. The struggles between the perspectives of these unforgettable characters as they unearth dark secrets, revisit old regrets, and uncover and compound bitter betrayals. Before the evening is through, these narratives converge masterfully to reveal a mystery so dark and shocking it will take your breath away. Ohio. And this is from Where's the copyright? Copyright. Anyone? 2018, and it is about 480 pages. Why, oh, why did I ever leave Ohio? Or Moon over Parma? Let's see. Yes, why, oh, why, Ohio. This book, by the way, is just about 400 pages long. But the pages are larger because it's hardback rather than trade. Let's see. From the horror section, Rooms by Lauren Oliver. Estranged patriarch Richard Walker has just died, leaving behind a country house full of rooms packed with the detritus of a lifetime. His alienated family, bitter ex-wife Caroline, troubled teenage son Trenton, and unforgiving daughter Minna have arrived for their inheritance. But the Walkers are not alone. Alice and Sandra, two long dead and restless ghosts, linger within the house's claustrophobic walls, bound eternally to its physical structure, jostling for space and memory. They observe the family, trading barbs and reminiscences about their past lives. Though their voices cannot be heard, Alice and Sandra speak through the house itself, in the hiss of a radiator, a creak in the stairs, the dimming of a light bulb. The living and dead are haunted by painful truths that surface with explosive force. When a new ghost appears, Trenton begins to communicate with her. The spirit and human worlds collide with cataclysmic results. Wrong cata. This is copyright 2014, and it is 303 pages long. Margaret Preston Haddock's Middle Grades. I know Stormy enjoys her work. Why do I always think it's Margaret Preston Haddock's? It's Margaret Peterson Haddock's. Sorry about that. Okay. I haven't removed the price tags from these yet. But these are from the Among the Hidden series. These are just, I'm filling in the series. So we have Among the Betrayed, Among the Barons, and Among the Free. And I think there are 6 or 7 books, so I'm still missing a couple. I think now I have 5. But I'm not sure. Anyway, I do have the first book and the second book, so let's see. Those are the only middle grades I picked up. Okay, from the... I think something unfortunate just happened outside, hopefully to somebody else. This is from the horror section. Zombie apocalypse thriller, Last Man Standing by Keith Taylor. And this is the complete trilogy. So it is, I believe this is self-published. It's from 2019, and all 3 books together. Oh yeah, this is the one I was looking at. I was like, oh, this is self-published. It doesn't have page numbers. So it's this long. But it's a good looking for self-published. It's looks pretty good. Looks like it, you know, because sometimes self-published can be a little hard to read, but it looks like they did a pretty good job on this. They just didn't give us page numbers. That'll happen. And oh yeah, here we go. Catherine M. Valente. I know some people have read and enjoyed her work. Lisa says, did it snow or have bad weather for you? I hope everyone is okay. We have hardly had any snow, and none that stuck for more than a half an hour. No, it just sounded like maybe somebody was lowering their tailgate like really abruptly on one of those older trucks, the kind that, you know, the flatbeds, the open flatbeds or trailers or something like that, you know, that you haul lawn carrying equipment around in. Yeah, it just sounded like maybe somebody dropped their tailgate a little too hard or something like that. It wasn't a big deal. It just kind of startled me because I'm feeling a little edgy, and not in a good way. Stormy says, no page numbers would drive me crazy. I am not happy about this, but I will do. Kristen says, I am fed in comfy pants and in my nest in my bed. Yeah, I was going to do that, but now I have to go out. But then after I go out, I will be fed in comfy pants and in a nest in my bed. In fact, I will hopefully pick up some pie while I'm out. That would be pretty swell. I talked about that earlier. Okay, this is by Catherine M. Valente, and it's called Radiance. This is from the science fiction section. Radiance is a deco-punk, sure it is, pulp science fiction, alt history, space opera mystery set in Hollywood. Set in a Hollywood and solar system very different from our own. Let's see. Severin Unk's father is a famous director of Gothic romances in an alternate past in which talking movies are still a daring innovation. Due to the patent hoarding Edison family, Rebelling against his father's, rebelling against her father's films of passion, intrigue, and spirits from beyond, Severin starts making documentaries, traveling through space and investigating the levitator cults of Neptune and the lawless saloons of Mars. For this is not our solar system, really, but one drawn from classic science fiction in which all planets are inhabited and we travel through space on beautiful rockets. Severin is a realist in a fantastic universe. But her latest film, which investigates the disappearance of a diving colony on a watery Venus populated by island-sized aliens called calla whales, will be her last. Though her crew limps home to Earth and her story is preserved by the colony's last survivor, Severin will never return. Aesthetically recalling a trip to the moon and House of Leaves. Wow. And told using techniques from classic film, gossip magazines, and metafictional narrative, Radiance is a solar system spanning story of love, exploration, family loss, quantum physics, and silent film. So it's got like, it has a ship's manifest. There's part of it that looks like a screenplay, just different kinds of stuff. I always like that. And finally, one last book. It is The Crown Jewel, The Pièce de Résistance. The book, I've been keeping an eye out for it at libraries and haven't seen it yet, but now I have my own copy, and I was very surprised to find it. It is a very new book. It is The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. Look at her. This is from Book Barn. It's a used book, but it's in good condition, and I mean, it just came out, so. And look at these sprayed edges. It's pretty. I have read a lot of Julie Clark's books, and I really like her stuff. And like I said, I've been keeping an eye out for this at libraries. Haven't seen it yet because I think a lot of other people are reading it. But now I have my own copy. And it was only $8, which is probably the most expensive book I've ever seen at Book Barn. Because usually their newer stuff is like $6. Some of their older trade paperbacks and hardbacks are usually $4. The mass markets are always $1. So anyway, that was a very nice find. I was pretty pleased about it. So those are the books I got at Book Barn. And like I said, I'm going to cut it short because I'm kind of stressed out about the last like hour or so. I mean, 2 hours or so, and I have to run these errands, and I want to do that while it's still light out. So yeah, sorry for cutting it short. But I will be back next week for more midweek motivation. And if anybody has anything to say before I go, please let me know. And give you a couple of minutes to formulate any thoughts you might have. Excuse me. No, holy cow. You do what you have to. Hope you have a good night. Thank you, Lisa. That's fine. It's nap time, says Gwen. As far as I'm concerned, it's always nap time. Good luck, says Kristen. And Stormy says, have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining me. And if you're back later, thank you for doing that. You can always like, comment, share, subscribe, or don't. I am not the boss of you. And I will have a video up later because of Vlogmas. So, and again, I will see you next week at 2 p.m. Eastern. It'll be lovely. And I will continue. I don't know if I will have finished this book or if I'll just save it and start over again next week or pick another book or what. We'll see. Bye.